Hey coin collectors, and welcome to DC Coin World International coin channel. And today it's the 1942 Lincoln Penny. We have the San Francisco Mint, we have the Philadelphia Mint with no mint mark, and we have the Denver Mint. 1942, the first year of World War II pennies. So the first World War II coins didn't come out until 1942. There is a proof set in 1942, so you can look for that, but that's going to be thousands of dollars to get one of those. It was the only year during World War II that a proof set was made, and no uncirculated sets were made in 1942. Those first came out in 1947. So let's start with this San Francisco Mint one over here. One of the things that you'll learn if you look at some of the other countries in World War II is that the United States San Francisco Mint actually made coins for other countries. They made them for the Philippines. They made them for Australia. To top of this coin it says, "In God We Trust, Liberty Behind Lincoln," 1942 here. First we should just look at this date and look at the numbers and look at the mint mark. That's a really interesting 9. See how big the 9 is? Little tiny 4, little tiny 2, little tiny 1. And then this really stylized, almost snake-like S on here. In 1942, they made 86 million. The highest graded one they found so far at PCGS is a Mint State 68, and that goes for $9,500. They've also found 6 double die obverse and 3 repunched mint marks at the San Francisco Mint. And this may be a repunched one, but it's just so hard to tell at this stage that we can't certify that it is, but we can certify that it's a messy one at best. And then when we look over here, we see we have some doubling on the B and the E probably. But again, when you have a used coin like this, hard to tell if that happened at the mint or that's post-mint damage that occurred afterwards. We always do like to tip them up and see if we can see the initials, and on this coin we can't really. We can see some little indentations in there, but we can't see the initials. This is a brass coin, so it's copper with zinc or tin mixed in. If we tip it up on the edge, we see that this is a smooth edge coin, and when we get onto the back we remember, oh yeah, in 1942 they still had the wheat ears pennies. And so these pennies say E pluribus unum at the top, 1 cent here, United States of America with some stylized letters in there. Look at that funny little M that they have on this, and the F with the really like the tall F. And if we get over to the side, we see the ears of wheat. America, of course, is famous for its grain production, and this is kind of the amber waves of grain that we have in America, the beautiful. They're talking about wheat and other grains that we produce. So at the San Francisco Mint and the Denver Mint and the Philadelphia Mint, the back's going to be the same on these. The Philadelphia Mint in 1942, they don't have a mint mark here, and they made 658 million. Of those, they found MS 68 coins, Mint State 68, and those are worth $4,000. They've also found 16 varieties, including 12 double die obverses. So again, when you get one of these in good condition, get it magnified and look, because you'll see one of the things you'll see over here sometimes is this doubling on the I, which it looks like this could be, but hard telling, and a doubling on the B. But you really can't, again, with some of these used coins, or almost used up coins in a way, you can't tell if this is one of those or not. But do look for the 12 double die obverse varieties of the Philadelphia Mint coin. And then the last mint that they made them at was the Denver Mint in 1942. They put the D on them here. And at the Denver Mint they made 207 million. They found an MS 68 at the Denver Mint also, and that's worth about $8,000. So some real expensive coins from 1942. You just have to look for them and try to get them in as good a condition as you can. Now some people say, well, what about the steel cents? Well, they only made the steel pennies in the United States on purpose in 1 year, and that was 1943. And we just happen to have 3 of them right here. Let's take a look at those. Here's the 1943 Philadelphia coin, and you notice that this is in really good shape for a 1943. You have to be really careful with these. If you get one that's really shiny, it's been replated with zinc. And so if you get one that's like this, it's kind of dull, it's probably the original penny. Even so, you want to be very careful and have somebody check it before you decide that it's a $1,000 penny. This one's really nice, this Philly. This is really what most of them look like, is this 1943 Denver Mint coin. And in some ways, it's hard to tell the difference. You can, unless you put them together. And then when you do, you can see this one actually has rust on it, because steel rusts, copper doesn't. Copper greens a little bit. And then if we get this one on the back, again, you can see steel sometimes gets this blackened look to it too. So this Denver Mint one's got both. And then they also made it at the San Francisco Mint. And that's a quite different S than the one we have on the 1942, isn't it? Put those S's next to each other. This makes me think a little bit more that maybe this was a double punch. They got kind of flattened out when they doubled it, because that's a pretty clear S there. And so this is the 1943 San Francisco Mint steel coin. But back to the copper pennies. So when we do the 1943 videos, look for those steel pennies where the U.S. made them out of steel. And then they made one or more by mistake in 1944. But that one's going to be worth $500,000. So you probably won't see the 1944 steel penny too often. Thanks for watching the DC Coin World International Coin Channel. We'd love to have you subscribe to our channel and leave any comments you have in the comment section.